What's up, everybody? It's Chill Scrub. Sparking Zero has been out for about 3 weeks to a month now, and I am here to give my honest opinion on the game. And I'm not just talking about online, I'm talking about offline too, and compare it to its predecessors like Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. As far as the gameplay, it's actually pretty smooth. There are some busted mechanics, but the gameplay is overall pretty smooth. It's pretty fun. It's pretty intuitive. I don't use modern controls at all. I use classic, so it feels more intuitive to me. I'm going back to my roots. Let's go ahead and start with the single player aspects. And I'm not going to lie to you. When it comes down to the single player aspects, the game is absolutely trash. 2 and 3 gave you a lot more for less. It makes Bandai Namco, a game company that's known for a whole bunch of cash grabs as of late, it's just going ahead and sticking with that moniker. It's not a good look. It's definitely not worth the $70. I will say that up front. You're essentially just going to be playing as Goku. You get some hidden lore in there, some what ifs in there, but other than that, it's not really worth it. To me, it's pretty boring, and you got to unlock the characters, of course, so they did keep it original with that. But outside of that, no, the game is absolutely not it single player wise. That's all I can really say. It's not much to really say on that. The online aspect, and man, oh man, I got a lot to say about that. It's already been a month, and the swamp butt I don't get out my chair nerds have already infiltrated the game. The FGC players have already infiltrated the game. And what you would think, the reason why you think I would call it trash is actually not the reason I would call it trash. Most people would think I would call this game bad simply because the mechanics are broken, right? And me mentioning the FGC should be, a bit of a foreshadow to what I'm about to say. I don't expect the Tenkaichi game to be fair and balanced. I don't expect Xenoverse to be fair and balanced. Games like Budokai 1, 2, and 3, I don't expect those games to be balanced, nor do I expect games like Super Dragon Ball, etc. Dragon Ball games are not known for their balancing. The problem I have is when I play online and I see these FGC nerds when the game first came out that have tier lists, that have the best characters, what is meta, what is not. It kind of kills the excitement and the fun online of taking it and just learning it when you have everybody that's going to go ahead and pick either a fusion character, Whis, UI Goku, etc. It's not fun at all. There is no character variety playing online. You will be fighting the exact same thing over and over. 50 Shades of Goku, 50 Shades of Vegeta, and some fusion characters. That's what you're going to fight online, and that's number one of why the game is boring. Number two, as far as the FGC is concerned and they're infiltrating this game, it makes it boring because they're taking it too competitive. You have people talking about nerf things in a game that's not meant to be competitive. It's not meant to be fair. Hence the gameplay you're seeing me right now with Nappa. Yes, I'm complaining, but I expect to lose. I did it on purpose. I picked Nappa on purpose so it'll be fun and a challenge. I know I'm going to go against OP, overpowered characters, and that's perfectly fine. I don't expect the game to be perfectly balanced. A lot of the FGC people, they think the game should be balanced. Absolutely not. I've already seen it from like a lot of esports channels that are trying to promote this game as a esports game. A lot of people are trying to promote this game as an FGC game. It is not that. I don't think people know how to have fun anymore without it being extra competitive. When it comes down to the rank matching system, it is absolutely absurd the amount of plugs that you get on a game that is not competitive. This game is, you shouldn't be plugging anyway regardless, but the game is not competitive. Please stop treating it as such. Thank you. Now, are there some things that do need to be toned down a little bit? Absolutely, but I think they'll address that as it comes. But the biggest point is the FGC nerds infiltrating the damn game and making it pretty fucking boring already. when you have tournaments for this game, like seriously competitive tournaments, and this game is being considered the Evo, I'm like, by what metric would you consider this game Evo worthy? If you want to use a FGC analysis on the game, where you would have to have structured health bars where every character has the exact same amount of health, where when it comes down to the fighting mechanics, they have to be governed by the same exact rules, but that's not the case. Certain characters have armor, certain characters don't. Certain characters have to be transformed to a certain level to affect like great apes and things like that, or Z Broly. Certain characters don't. Certain characters have fly mechanics, some characters don't. Some characters have ki blasts, other characters don't. So you see, it's too many variables and too many inconsistencies for this game to be an FGC related game. But when I hear people harping on about it, it kind of ruins the experience for me. I cannot say that for everybody else, but it ruins the experience for me. The main thing that ruins the experience for me is the lack of variety. When you have a game that has, I wouldn't say it was comparable to, like, as far as roster wise, I'll say like Fighters, and all you see is the same characters over and over and over and over again, it's pretty boring. As far as FGC is concerned, if you really want to play a FGC Dragon Ball fighting game, then they already have one. It's called Fighters. You're trying to make this game something that it's not. That is one of my analysis and one of my bones to pick with the community at this point that's playing this game. Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest ones. Please stop trying to make this game something it's not. It's not going to be FGC competitive. It's meant to have fun. It's meant to, you know, play with your boys, have a good time. There is a ranking system if you want to indulge in that, great, but it's not that fucking deep. Another criticism I have with the game, fighting wise, it is smooth, but because of the server's lag, it makes it borderline unplayable, right? So it's hard enough to get Z counters and, you know, vanish properly. It's hard enough to do that, but it adds an extra layer of difficulty when you have to worry about delay. So there's already input delay from you initially pressing your button, especially if you're playing wireless instead of having your controller wired in. And then you have to worry about the delay from the actual server itself. And on top of that, if you're playing on PlayStation, God help you, because you're running on a server that's already shit. So you're playing on the actual game servers that are not that great, because Bandai Namco are not known for having the greatest servers. Then you have to worry about PlayStation servers, not to mention the input lag from your controller. So it makes it unbearable. Another thing I don't like about the game, this is a personal nitpick, but I understand why it is the way it is. To me personally, disclaimer, to me, I'm not saying my opinion is the end all be all, because I know some dickhead is going to end up saying like, maybe you just suck at the game, bro. I'm like, no, it's just the fact that there's a lack of defensive options. You're overly rewarded for being overly aggressive. Yes, I know there are certain ways to counter certain things, but the difficulty it requires to counter it versus actually performing the thing is too lopsided. That's one of my biggest issues fighting wise, but the lag, the netcode, and the over aggressiveness. The Z skills I am fine with. They had it in since I think Tenkaichi 2, Tenkaichi 1. That's perfectly fine. The model controls, I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, I know some people are bitching about it, saying you should always play classic. Pick your preference. It really doesn't matter. It's not a game I would take seriously in the first place. The character models, they look okay. I know I'm gonna get some backlash for saying this, but I do think burst limit character models, and even I'll say Kakarot character models look a little bit better. That's something I have a nitpick about. Oh, speaking about characters that's having things that are like legit actually broken, like the whole auto parry and auto dodge thing with characters like Whis, Ultra Instinct, Goku, so forth and so forth. Yeah, that is actually annoying, and it kind of dampens the experience. Here's my personal thing. If I was to do something about it, I would say, in order for these people to have these skills, which they want to stay true to the actual character, fine, I don't mind. But make it have some degree of difficulty. I'm not saying too difficult where you can't do it at all, but there should be some kind of risk reward analysis for doing this kind of thing. Like you just being able to do it just because is not it. at all. I understand it's Dragon Ball Z, it's supposed to be fast paced, it's supposed to be fun, and that's why I'm not really bitching about it too much after my initial rage on this stream that you're watching. Overall, I think the game is actually fun. I can see why it's dying though. I definitely can see why. Again, going back to what I said earlier, a lot of people are trying to make this game something it's not with the whole FGC thing. It is not a FGC game. This is essentially an arena fighter. And I don't know why people, it has the same vibe as a Naruto Ninja Storm or etc. It's not that. And I'm going to be an asshole when I say this. The Street Fighter nerds, the Tekken nerds, do not take the same mentality that you have with these games, with those games, and bring it here. You're going to be disappointed. But if I had to give this game a rating out of a 10 scale, I would probably give it a 7. All things considered, taking my personal bias out of it, like not being too emotional about it, not trying to make it an FGC game, and not trying to hold it too much to nostalgia, just simply comparing it to what its predecessors is and other games that are out or been out. There are the older games just give you more. They just do. Budokai Tenkaichi 1, as ass as that game is, that game was terrible, but it gives you more. Tenkaichi 2, the game that's been slept on forever, it gives you more. Tenkaichi 3 gives you more. Burst Limit, gameplay wise, to me is a lot better. But this game does give you more than Burst Limit, so I won't hold on that. The original Budokais 2 and 3, they give you more. They just do, right? And there's a clear risk reward system, even though it is casual, and there are still things that are absolutely busted in those games. There are clear risk rewards. It's not too loose. That's the best way I can describe this game gameplay wise, is the gameplay is a little too free will, a little too loose. That's my critique of it. But other than that, for the average person, if you're just a casual and you just want to play a Dragon Ball Z game that has the Super roster, that has Dragon Ball Z roster and some Dragon Ball roster, excellent. Have at it, have fun. I would probably tell you, if you have a PC, probably just go play Tenkaichi 2 or Tenkaichi 3. I do not think this game is worth the $70. I think paying $110 for this game when it first came out for the special or ultimate edition is highway robbery. I don't think it's worth it at all. It definitely has a long way to go as far as improvement wise. They could have went a totally different route with the story. They could have actually took the Kakarot route. That would have been great, but I think that would have been too much work on the game that they're not willing to put in, especially if they're going to charge you $70 for it. Why do that when we can give you a half-ass product? That's the stance I done had with most games in this generation. You get a half-ass game, you pay a full price. I feel like that's absolutely stupid, but that's just my opinion. If you want to just play UI Goku and cheese people to death, you will have a great time. If you're a person like me that likes playing other characters besides every shade of Goku and Vegeta in fusions, you're going to have a rough time. I play characters like Nappa, Raditz, low tier characters, or obscure characters that you don't really see that often. But that's my analysis for the most part. This is the last couple of matches I played before I eventually said I can't take no more and I had to get off. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. I want to thank everybody for who's been donating, for watching the videos all the way through. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead. It will be in my actual profile when you click my name. Same thing with my Twitch. I'll catch you guys next time, and peace.